Okay, make sure you have your worksheet for today. You're looking at the same side that I am. There's two sides to this. We want to talk about the same side. All right, we're going to start with the table. This reminds me of Doctor Who, the information they gave us, but I just didn't give you a story. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the table. What we know is to go from here to here, we add 2. Here to here is plus 30. Here to here, another plus 2. Here to here was a change or plus 30. Here we have a plus 1. Here to here we have a plus 15. If we want to think about, is this proportional, as we discussed with Rose Taylor, remember how we would do that. We would look directly across and we would say 30 miles in 2 hours equals 15 miles per hour. We would compare it to the next one. 60 miles in 4 hours. What does that equal? 15 miles per hour. Another way we could check, because these are changing constantly, and we have a starting point at 0. I also could verify with the very last one. I was able to go 75 miles in 5 hours. That also will equal 15 miles per hour. We have changes of plus 30, plus 30. Here we had 2. If we wanted to fill in some of the missing rows in this table, we would be able to do that. How far did this person travel after 1 hour? If they started at 0, moving at this rate, they would have been at 15, plus 15. Then at the second hour, they would have been at 30. So how far would they have traveled if they went for 3 hours? 45. Because for every hour, it is 15. So from here to here, plus 1, plus 15, plus 15. Excellent. Now we're going to look at this on the graph. Time is always your independent variable, the x. The other column will be the dependent variable known as the y. So on our graphs, we know x is the horizontal axis and y is the vertical. We are going to start at the corner at 0. We are going to be very careful and skip count to 1. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to stop talking so I do not goof. But you're going to do 0, skip a line, 1, skip a line, 2, skip a line, 3, continue to 10. Just pause the video, make sure that this looks like mine. Do not double skip any spaces. Verify it was 0, skip a line, 1, skip a line, 2, all the way to 10. Next, we need to label this. It is going to be labeled time, and the unit of time we're using was hours. Okay, I started this video earlier and I made a mistake because I was talking. So what I would do is I will start and explain, and then I will be quiet and let us all count and graph. But we're going to label this distance, and the unit provided was miles. I just got that information directly off the table. I want us to start with 0 in the corner and then skip to 10, skip to 20, skip to 30, and I'm going to stop talking out loud so we don't goof, and I would like you to go all the way to 100. If necessary, pause the video until everyone in the room at least has their graph like mine. Feel free to pause the video. All right, a few things I do want to point out and talk about before we move on. We really did not count by ones here because we were doing skip counting. So our interval, and that word means what did you count by? In this case, we really counted by what? To go from 0 to skip to 1 to skip to 2. We really counted by half. You can either write it as a fraction or a decimal. But if I wanted to squeeze all the numbers that we skipped in, I would have 0.5, 0.15. Okay, now let's talk about what interval, what did we really count by in the y's. I did 0, skip to 10, skip to 20, so I knew I didn't really count by tens because I have the empty. So our interval here, what we counted by, was 5s. If I wanted to fill in the numbers, I'd have 5, 10, 15, 20. When I do that, I think it gets too crowded. All right, at any time, just let me know if you need it to be paused so you can get caught up to where I am. Now we're going to graph just the original 4 ordered pairs that I gave you. Very carefully, we have the point 0, 0, so right here in the vertex, or the origin, excuse me. We have the point 2, 30, so you're going to go right to the 2, and then you travel up to the 30. Take your time, right to the 2, up to the 30. Then we're going to go to the 4 and up to the 60. Finally, we travel to the 5 up to the 75. So here's where 70 is marked. 75 is the one that is not marked. Take a moment. Yours should look like mine. Doing the best you can. If you need to turn the page a little, draw the straightest line you can, passing through the points and continuing beyond. We're not playing connect the dots like in kindergarten. We go through the points and beyond. I have mentioned before, if you move your whole arm, it tends to make a nicer, straighter line. Use the edge of your notebook. Do whatever you got to do. Okay, so that is how we took information. We found the rate, the speed at which this person was traveling. It was 15 miles per hour. Now we're going to kind of work backwards. Let's just talk about the graph. How could we, if given the graph, work back to the table? Let's connect this point to this point, making a right triangle. So I'm going to dark my line so that you can see it. And I'm going to make a right triangle from here to here. It does not matter if you were to draw the triangle above my orange line or below it. I'll give you a minute. Connect these 2 points with a right triangle. Remember, our interval that we counted by is really 5. So this would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This is a change of 30 miles. That makes sense because if I looked on my graph, this dot is at 30, this dot is at 60. That is a change of 30. Remember we talked about what we counted by across the bottom? We counted by halves. So this would be a half, 1, 1.5, 2. So this would be 2 hours. We're going to calculate the speed in miles per hour. That would be 30 miles in 2 hours. That gets me 15 miles per hour. We could also have picked different points. I now will do a right triangle connecting these two. Again, paying very careful attention to what was the interval. What did this person or us or you and I count by? We counted by fives. So 5, 10, 15. This is 15 tall, so to say. And then here's a half, 1 wide. So for distance, it would be 15 miles in the 1 hour. So that was another way we could calculate the rate of change or the speed using the graph if we didn't have the table. In just a moment, we're going to flip over to do the back side. If you need to pause the video so you can make sure your paper looks like mine, please do so right now. There will be another video for you to watch to complete the back. Pause the video.